Welcome back, people. Raw and Uncut, Express Truth, CFR Network. We in the building, man. We're here to discuss all things. No holds barred. Anything goes. No topic is off the table. So people just relax, man. We in the building, man. Quickly before we get into this here, Express Truth, the Thursday show. So I think we've missed like 2 weeks now. People, we're back this upcoming week. Had some issues, man, with the mixer and all that. Literally went in the studio to record. Problems with the mixer. So we've had to sort all that out. That's sorted. Tried to go live. That was just another problem again. So we just cancelled the whole week. So we're back next week, man. But we're here in the building right now. Express Truth, CFR Network. We're going to break things down, man. So before we do anything else, Noble, what you saying, man? How's the week been?
All wise and civilized, another quick and fast week, busy like no one's business. I cannot complain at all. Would like the spring to come up a little bit quicker without this tumultuous rain, sun, clouds, and all this madness, man. We need to go out and, get back out and do that road work and stuff. But yeah, man, looking forward to the Bills. Trustfully, it will be edutaining, and you know how we do it.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely. So, all right, I want to go straight into this thing, because from this story broke, Mason Greenwood, I know we've spoke about this a few times, and I kind of want to breeze past this, but from day one, if you go back, everything's documented, everything's online. That's the thing about things online. Once you put it out there, unless you delete it, it's out there forever. So if you go back, especially if you're a patron, if you go back from the first video about Mason Greenwood right till now, listen to the narrative, listen to the things I said. Now, when it comes to football, maybe not in today's world, but matter of fact, in today's world as well, Hudson-Odoi, when that was all going on, we done a video around the time, ended up speaking to somebody close to the situation who told us the truth of the matter with Hudson-Odoi. Whereas Mason Greenwood, when the story broke, there was like OG ballers. I speak to OG ballers. If you've been on the air long enough, you'll know some of the names I've thrown out there. Now, I'm not going to throw those names out now, because naturally, this is a lose-lose topic. This is what I call a lose-lose topic. But all I'm saying is, let's stick to the facts. Let's take emotion out of it and stick to the facts. From day one, I said the same thing. Now, when it first broke, was the week that Mark Morrison, the legend, brought the channel a camera. Mark Morrison brought the channel a camera when this was going on. Now, I remember while it was going on, I was buying different parts, because this was the latest GoPro at the time that Mark Morrison brought for us. And I had purchased all of the parts for this camera, like the little chest harness, the head harness, all of that. And I remember trying to set these things up, and the story broke. Like the voice note and the pictures just went viral. I ended up going into the bull ring in town, in Bromtown. When I came out of the bull ring, because there's certain parts of the bull ring, especially in the ground floor, depending what network you're on, the signal's whack.
Mm-hmm.
Come out the bull ring, had like 3-4 missed calls from one of my baller brethrens from back in the day. So he's like, yo, I want to chat, yo, you see what's going on? Madness. So I'm just walking and talking to the brother. And he's just breaking down bits and bobs to me, just letting me know certain things behind the scenes. So just telling me how things run in that world, and you know, try not to don't cast judgment yet. Wait till the news, wait till the development goes on, and rare. So I'm like, cool. So I end up speaking to a next OG baller. Now this is a few days, might have been like a day later, 2 days later, I speak to an OG, real OG. Now this OG, he's telling me, yo, this situation's mad, you know, because this OG I'm talking about is connected in a way, without saying too much, to like, it's not hard for him to make 1-2 calls, find out what's going on. So anyway, that whole time, the combo I had with this OG, I know in my head, I can't really say nothing publicly. So if you go back to them shows, listen to the things I'm saying without really saying too much. But basically what I kind of found out is that, to be honest, don't really make no difference to the situation, but both the things that were leaked were unrelated. So you got a voice note and you got pictures, but they're both unrelated. That was the first thing. The second thing was that Mason was moving kind of mad. Like, he was sleeping around and stuff, but this girl, he's like his child sweetheart, but he was like sleeping around and stuff, and they were having problems with like that. It's a very toxic relationship. Like, they do toxic things to each other, allegedly. So what the person was saying is that basically Greenwood was out there running around with different girls and rare. And then these two pieces of, would you call it evidence, Noble? What would you call it?
Yeah, we can put it under the realms of evidence.
Yeah, the two pieces of evidence came to light during this. So it was made out to me, again, remember, I'm just a podcaster, and it was made out to me that they were thrown out there as a sort of FU kind of situation. So I was told, like, listen, the situation ain't what you see. It's not that. And I'm like, what do you mean it's not that? It's like, yo, it's more of like a toxic relationship situation. I'm like, oh, for real? Like, yeah, like they do nasty things to each other. They're both very toxic, but that's how they are. That's them. That's what that couple's like. They're like that. So if you notice, you've never heard the girl speak. Then if you notice, she never actually gave no commentary on those two pieces of evidence. So from day one, those two things were thrown out, and then you just never heard nothing else. It was just like, yo, boom, everyone was just left to make their own mind up of what's going on. So you got people calling him a rapist and this, that, and the third, but notice no one has never said anything from day one. Now they're back together publicly, and B, she's pregnant. So does that not somewhat support? Forget all that, oh, you abuser goes back, forget all of that. Does that not support what the OG was saying? Because how is it that the girl hasn't said one word, he hasn't said one word, the public are talking, but no one else, the two voices that really matter have not spoken. So I take it back to times like this, like, let's say you got a cousin or a sister or someone who's with a man, and they get into whatever, they get into a drama, you get called or somehow it goes public. You go down there and get involved. You go down there, yo, you hit my sister or and you go and you batter the guy. In a month's time, they're back together. But now that guy don't chat to you no more. You can never chat to him again. So you're now the enemy of that relationship. Krishan Rock and Blueface. Every day we go on Instagram. Maybe not so much now, but before. They're posting this toxic relationship. This couple that are constantly fighting, constantly lying to the public, fooling the public. It's a toxic relationship that the public are in love with. Now, I don't know where other people are from, but where I'm from, I mind my business. I see this comment a lot on Shadeborough, and I'm going to say it right here, man. You see, when two people have seen each other naked, Noble, I don't get involved, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get involved. That's a fact. Because look now, when you read in the comments, you know how much people are angry. Oh my God, she's gone back. Oh my God. Yo, you were told from day one, you only have to look at the facts. Certain times you only have to just let a situation play out. You never heard that girl speak. He didn't speak, but they're back together. That speaks volumes to me. So you see that now, everyone who was saying, who was saying A, B, or C, where is that now? The girl's pregnant by him.
As you said, sibling, actions speak louder than words. People can say all the stuff and blah, 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 but it's about the actions. Like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but does it manifest in your physical reality? Are you actually doing what you do, what you say? So we can leave all what's that phrase that they say in America? All of that talking is for the birds. Let's get down to the meat and potatoes, man. Like pregnancy, back together, no context in regard to the information. And this is what we try and highlight so much. We get these videos on WhatsApp, we go on social media and we see these videos. And the first thing that you've got to ask yourself is, what preceded the recording of this video? What happened before? Sometimes we might see a whole thing develop. It's very rare, but generally we're seeing an event and we have to, based upon what we see, we make potential judgments. But when you have a little bit of wisdom, you make a judgment based upon the video, and then you start to do the knowledge. You ask certain people if you can, have that kind of connection. And again, you say, what happened prior and what happened after this video? Because based upon what we can see, this is terrible. But did this just click my finger and it's on? It's wartime. So we definitely gotta pay heed to what we're saying and what's being presented. And with the Blueface thing, another crazy toxic relationship, and it's so sad that they play out on social media. Now it's clear to me and maybe others that this is part of their thing. This is part of their persona, should we say. This isn't necessarily, I think this plays a major part in their life outside of picking up their phones and recording or having cameras recorded. This is a means to keep themselves in the eyes of the public, talking what they're going to do next, this and that, blah, blah, blah. That then generates money via the social media platforms based upon the views they're getting. This is more than just what we're seeing. People these days, the dumber the better. My life's crazy. Let me see some other crazy stuff so I can then look at my life and think, well, look, I ain't that bad. At least, I'm not fighting my man and people are recording it and it's going up on all damn social medias and all that there. It's just appealing to the lowest common denominator. And now fuckery has become the new currency. Not righteousness, not information, not a bit of fun, a bit of humor, comedy, love. It's fuckery in all aspects of life. That's what's the thing. That's what's popping, which is terrible. It's terrible. I try my hardest, Mark. I try my hardest to stay away from that kind of stuff. Occasionally, when you are doing a knowledge and you say to yourself, look, let me have a break. Let me step out of the clouds, quote unquote. Let's remove the shea butter and all them things there, and let's go into the mucky world. Let's put the Wellingtons on. Let's put the work overalls on, and let's get into the muck and mire. What is actually happening? Boots on the ground. And this is where we're at.
Now, this is something people fail to understand. I'm gonna break it down right now. Growing up for us, a lot of people that I say I would say over 30, we grew up in a different era where certain things were unacceptable.
Mhm.
Now, you can call it what you want. Are we getting old or whatever it could be? Are we going into it to that next stage of life? However you would want to describe it. But how I look at things is like this. What's acceptable in today's world was unacceptable in yesterday's world. And what I mean by that is every day I go on to social media, the things that I see Black people involved in, I realize that I realize why they have labels on generations like Gen Z, millennials, baby bloomers, whatever. I understand why they do that, because we're raised at different points in time where certain things were accepted, certain things wasn't. Yesterday, I went on to Instagram and I seen a story about that girl on Love Island that we spoke about last week.
Yes.
Now, if you go back to that show and listen to everything I said about that girl and the morals of women in today's world, I've lived life, Noble. I've lived life. I've traveled to many different countries. I've lived life. Let's just put it like that. And most girls would find it offensive if I asked them to participate in a threesome.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that girl on Love Island that a man's on TV crying over had a threesome allegedly with a rapper. So what I'm trying to say is
this is this is obviously pre going on to Love Island thing, right?
Yeah. This is before Love Island, but what I'm trying to say is it tells you everything about our generation, about that generation, sorry, the next one down, that a person is willing to go on TV while their family's watching, have sex in a room amongst other people, lips up people on TV.
Yeah.
And now it's come out that she's had a threesome. So the reason I'm saying that is just to say that's normal in today's world. Go in the comments, people are like, yo, she's just having fun. I don't see no problem with that. Now, I couldn't make no woman my wife who had a threesome when she was 21. Because if your mind allowed you to do that as a girl child, listen, you could never be wifey. Never. So what I'm trying to say is the traditional methods of sex that normal men are used to from our world, that don't run again in their world. So what I'm trying to say is you showing me any kind of pictures or voice notes or nothing, yeah, I don't know what happened, fam, because these youths are different. These youths are different. Listen, girls are going on social media and saying they had sex on a counter in Selfridges. That somebody would come out who's a popular artist with a following, with a platform, and say they opened their legs and did that type of stuff on a counter in Selfridges. So if someone's saying that, what else do you think people get up to behind closed doors? If someone's saying that publicly, what do you think these people are getting up to? Remember, you
Behind
have
closed
all kind of
doors.
behind closed. You have all kind of gimps, man, whipping people. You have people who play as dog. You have people who dress up and gimp mask, and people that like pain.
Yeah.
People that beat like gal who, you know, man probably beating gal with a belt. There's gal who like to get shit on, all kind of shit.
All kind of
So
disgusting,
what I'm trying to
depraved.
say to people is, I don't know what a man gets up to behind closed doors. So I can't bet. You know what I mean? And from what we said from day one, right up until now, look, people feel stupid. People feel stupid because that couple never spoke at all. And let's not pretend like we all don't know bare toxic couples like that who just I know couples that I don't understand their relationship. I don't know how they still maintain. There's man who's there's all kind of things that I know I wouldn't accept that other man accept. So let's just end that there, Noble. But what you saying, no?
But this is the beauty of humanity, and as you've highlighted quite eloquently, referenced the changes in generational stances. Now, that is driven, if people didn't know, that's obviously clearly driven by your environment and the social engineering. So, if anyone would care just to do a decade sort of overview from the 70s upwards, and you will see where we have arrived at now, where our grandparents, and it's crazy because it's a web. So we got one topic, and we can always link it to somewhere. We had morals and standards. Everybody, all nations had morals and standards, and outside of that, you would have what they would call deviant behavior. Yeah. Through time, this deviant behavior has been allowed to, because they can see the effects. I mean, if you've got a strong family, then you've got a strong family, and you're grounded, and in essence, nothing can break that apart because you've got a strong, coherent family structure going on. When they start to break that and start to introduce all these different options, and say these options are no longer deviant, we don't have laws in place to protect against such acts. Everything is everything now. So we've got a society now, millennials upwards, who are bombarded with do what the fuck you want to do.
YOLO.
You only live once. Like, so, and from a young mind, like, I get it, because I was a savage at once, and also young. And when I say I was a savage, I mean I was unrefined. I was in the world. You know, I was prey to the marketing agenda to a point, I might add, but I was in the world. So I get it. I did things as a youngster, which I reflect back on now as a grown adult, and I think, But again, sometimes you've got to go through it so you can have that experience, and then you can catapult to say, well, I'm going to leave that shit where it is, and I'm going to grow as a young man into a man, and this is what it be. But because, as I say, those lines are totally blurred, there is no things that are like taboo. Nothing's taboo anymore. Children have smartphones. The parents aren't putting parental locks on them. And if they are, these youths are so advanced. They're doing some stuff to take these blocks off or whatever the hell they're doing, you know what I mean? So we've got a huge Twitter, for instance. Look at Twitter. It's got pornography on there. Blatant, hardcore pornography.
And
Now this goes.
There's no filter.
No damn filter whatsoever. There's no age verification to be setting up. I mean, there was no social media when we was growing up. None at all. Like, so this concept, me trying to, I'm trying to think to myself, when I was a youth and I was out there mobbing and doing all this stuff, like, would I, if I had access to a mobile phone with a camera, not 2G technology. And actually, back then when we had phones, it was GSM. So man had phone back then, 90s, early 90s. But let me no camera on it. It was none of that business. It was a green screen with black numbers on there. That was it. You couldn't text. It was just calling, Cellnet, Vodafone, and that was it. And then one-to-one came into the mix and changed up the whole thing. So the point being is, we didn't have access to all of these different things, all of these different options. We didn't think to ourselves when we were youth, yeah, man, you know what? I can go to the doctor and I can tell them that I feel like I'm somebody else than I am, and they're going to give me like medication and stop me from being who I naturally am, and then I can get myself cut open and this and that and blah blah blah. That would be like, Noble, you're crazy. Or not, the doctor wouldn't say
You're
that.
insane.
But
You're insane.
Like, well, exactly. They will be talking about your mental health. Why are you thinking like this? This is not right. Why what has someone like been in your ear kind of thing? But now it's like everything is acceptable. So because there's no boundaries, there's no taboo things. It's like, oh well, I saw that on Love Island, or the exchanging of fluids, Mark. The first date when you've identified a young lady, you've exchanged house phone numbers, yeah, and then you call the house. You always is Joanne there? Yeah. And you talk for an hour on the phone. Yeah, let's meet at Odeon, and you go to McDonald's and blah blah. And at the end of that night, the most you're thinking you're gonna get is a little kiss or something, yeah. A little kiss, a little exchange of bodily fluids. If it all went all cool, saliva, what I mean, maybe a little feel of the batty or something. That's it. That's it. Then you can go home and say, yeah, man, all right, then next week when we link, blah, 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 maybe in a month's time, if I play my cards right, me and this young lady can do the lateral lambada. But we're in 2023 now. You walk into the club, a girl is going to grab you and start lipsing you up, groping you and all kind of thing. Yo, listen, give me your number still, because, this club's dead. There's no man in here except for you. What you saying? Huh? Yeah, man, me and my girlfriend's here still, man. We were up for it. Huh? I don't even know you. Who are you?
I'm telling you that, which is why it's a difference, isn't it? That's what I'm saying. Today's world, it's just a difference. People are living their life on the edge, YOLO, social media, everything's for show. That's why when things happen, I understand that it's a different world. I understand that. I know it's a different world. I know there's sometimes, sorry, people. I know there's a lot of people who are willing to do whatever it takes to get close to celebrities and things of that nature, which is why certain times these stories break. I just don't jump on the mainstream narrative. Like with the Tim Westwood thing, I lived through that era. And I'm telling you the facts. Like, I don't care what no one says. I don't know about no other girls, but the girls from Brom that I was around were willing participants. They were of age and they were willing participants. And if people want to start, oh, you can't say that. All right, listen to this lyric, yeah? I'm going to say this lyric word for word now. When I was a child, see, no, but I still ain't broke the habit. When I was a child, yeah, this tune was massive. It would play in a dance and people would go crazy. But the same lyric that people were going crazy for back then, man are getting shamed for now. Man like Westwood who were using their fame. Listen to this bar, Noble. How you ain't gon' fuck, bitch, on me. I'm the goddamn reason you're in VIP. CEO, you don't have the CID. I'm young, wild, and strapped like Chia Ali. You remember that lyric?
Mm-hmm.
You hear what my man's saying in that?
Yes.
Back then, man's with white gal were dancing. But what did he say? How you ain't gonna fuck on me? I'm the reason you're in here around celebrities.
Yep.
So, what's the difference with Westwood? What's the difference? Morally, he's wrong using his fame, but tell me what's the difference. Tell me, what has Westwood done different from what my man was saying? I'm not one of them people you can change the narrative. I lived through that era. I seen girl that would never give it up to me in a trillion years unless my money was right at the time. They would now.
Yeah.
They would now. But back then, if your money weren't right, there was certain girls that you just couldn't catch. I'm giving you the real. There was certain girl that were just exclusive to Roadman, a man who had fame. That's a fact. People don't like to admit it. Certain girl only wanted to see that kind of brother. Nice looking girls, but if they're opening their legs to Westwood, a grown ass, why? It's not even like you're like a Brad Pitt or, you know what I mean? Somebody who's seen as like desirable.
Yes.
Like you're just a big man. You had a receding hairline. You're wearing big leather jackets and that. You just look like a mad Ali G clone. But gal were giving him brain and all kind of thing. So what I'm trying to explain to people is when that broke and everyone was like, yo, I said, yo, yeah, the man, he's creepy for doing that, for using that. But that's a moralistic thing.
It's a moralistic thing, Mark. Let me just jump into this build right here.
Yeah.
The thing I think a lot of, and I'm speaking for the people I've had conversations about this, because you're right in regards to the comparison. He's leveraging his fame and his access to artists to get himself tutu, in essence, right? The problem is now that crazy documentary which was done was a small snapshot. We don't know the veracity or the statistic age-wise, but it seemed like there was a lot of young black girl. I think that's what the issue is. If it was black girl 18, 19, 20, okay, you know, they've lived a little bit, they've got some experience, you know what I mean? But when you're young and your mind's malleable, that's, to me, the biggest issue.
All right, and I hear that, and Noble, I hear that, but again, all I want man to do is take, and I'm not even saying to you, this is to the listeners, take all the emotion out of it. What's the legal consent age in the UK?
It's 14, right?
16.
16 now?
16. 16. A man could sleep with a 16-year-old. Or do we need to fact check that, Noble? It's definitely not 14.
Why just going old school?
It's definitely not 14. Now, although someone like me, I couldn't say go past like 2 years younger than myself. That's me. But there's other men who see youth, when I say youth, like a younger woman as like
16. You're correct.
Yeah, it's 16. So I'm talking about, if you go back to that episode that we did about Westwood, I was in year 10, year 11, and there were girls in sixth form. Sixth form is 16 and above. Now, yes, moralistically, Westwood is wrong, but can you bring that man in front of a court of law and convict him? You can't. From the 16, the legal, and what I'm trying to say is even the girls on that show, if you go back and watch it, they weren't even 16. Some of them were 20, 21.
Yeah.
And they were saying that he promised them jobs. So if a man turn around, no, but look, we do this here, this podcasting thing. We've been doing this for a long time. If Spotify come down to me and you right now and said, quit your jobs, we're going to put 5 million in both of your back pockets, but you have to suck off some big white man. No, bro. You know what the answer would be already?
You don't know the thing, sibling.
So why is it that we're pretending that it's different when somebody else does that? But why are we pretending that when somebody else, there was no crime committed? You got finessed the same way our people get finessed out of cars and to sell things cheaper, and you got finessed. Now in life, the most valuable thing you can know is how to carry yourself and handle yourself.
Yes. That's what the difference is, Mark. Continue.
Yeah, there shouldn't be a price on there should not be a price on your morals For anybody I'm talking, if there's a price on your morals, if you're willing to, if a man can say to you, eat shit and I'll give you $2,000, you're just a low down, dirty person.
Yes.
That will do anything for money. Listen, money's not my God. Never has been, never will be.
Never.
Never. It doesn't matter what. I've been around all of them. Name any of the celebs. Name any of them. I've been around all of them. They cannot disrespect me. They cannot disrespect me in any way, shape, or form because I'm a man first. And even when I was younger, I remember, true story as well. I remember I was in school and the PE teacher, there was something had happened in PE. And my man was like to the children, which I was a part of, he was like, yo, you guys, yeah, because of that, you're going to have to shower and put your hands behind your back.
What?
I swear to God, the teacher said, you man have to shower and put your hands behind your back. And I remember I said to him, I said, yo, I ain't doing that. And he's like, well, if you don't do it, then you're just gonna stay indoors and miss like break time. I was like, safe.
Isn't it?
I missed break time. I went straight back home to my pops, told him what happened. My man was fuming, flew to the school next day, said, yo, what the fuck's going on? Teacher was like, nah, you know, we were joking, but he didn't, you know, it wasn't serious and rare. I swear down. But what I'm trying to say is, Marvel, you have to know that you're not for sale, that you can't be tricked to do nothing. Saying what I'm teaching my daughter now. No man's supposed to be able to come around and because she can meet Tom Hanks or Jarul or whoever the star is, she's gonna do A, B, or C. No, that's just another human. You know, it's that Westwood thing. No one talks about it no more.
Of course.
Because you know why? That was something that he had pissed someone off at the BBC. That's what happened. That's what happened. That's why we don't hear nothing about it, because there was nothing. What they've done is just put him through that humiliation.
Yeah, yes.
That's worse than even being convicted. Because his name's in the mud. He can't retire that legend that he would have retired. His name's in the mud now. And anyone he's ever wronged, which, you know, when you're in an industry like that, DJ, you know, there's a lot of problems. You're going to fall out with a lot of promoters. And so now everyone can just ruin your name. Everyone can just, yo, I remember this. I don't know Westwood. I've met him. I've chatted to him, but I don't know him. So I'm not putting up no defense for him. I'm just telling the truth. His name's ruined now. And what I'm saying is, I lived through that era. I'm not saying he didn't do it to other girls. I don't know. Not them girls on the documentary, though. There was no victims on that documentary. I can tell you that now. Watch it back. Watch it back and tell me what crime was committed. I'm surprised it even got sanctioned. But the girls that were in my sixth form knew what they were doing because they wanted to be in around the in crowd.
Let me add another piece to that, Mark.
Yeah, man.
Young girls mentally and emotionally grow and develop quicker than boys. Not always, but that is genuinely the case. That's why you find, because I always used to ask the question, how comes when I come out of St. George's School, there's like a BMW outside, and then like two gal will get into this BMW and it ain't their parents. And then the next day, there's a next car, you know what I mean? A Saab 900. Let's go back to that convertible. And Rass is in there, and so-and-so goes in the car. And I'm like, huh? And I'm asking the question, like, who's these people picking you up? It's my man still. I'm like, yo, hold up. We're in third year secondary school. What on earth are you doing linking a man who's driving a car, who's clearly not even in school, he's not in college or nothing? So you can't go to no one who's in year 5, 5th year, 2 years older. Yeah, nah, you know, because we develop quicker in it and you're just childish and thing. I will say that was a minority of girl that was doing that. That wasn't the majority of girl. But that mindset is there, and it's now increased even further where there's no age lines. There's no, like you said, 2 years for you. I never, from when I was a youth, I never used to check girl or women, young girls who are my age. It was always women. I wasn't interested in no one my age because indeed, yes, mentality wise, I'm trying to have a conversation with a girl my age. She's like, no, but why are you using all these big words for? I don't understand you. You know what I mean? So I get it. I get it. I understand the process, but if it's legal, 16 to have consensual sex, surely that should be to 16-year-olds, 17, 18, maybe 19, and then 16-year-old. There's no guidelines to that though. It's once you're 16, it's fair game for everybody. So a 60-year-old man can groom up a girl, and as long as she's 16, everything it's legal.
These are the facts, Noble, and this is what I'm trying to say is we have to stick to facts only, and that's it. We gotta stick to facts only. Just like with Noel Clark, I've been in and around white environments where the banter is different. Like, I'm not one of them people. I don't play games, I don't play games. When I say I don't play games, I'm not into the joking, to the offensive jokes. Like,
yes,
I'm a serious individual, meaning that I don't bother me and I won't bother you. But I've seen mad disrespectful jokes in the white world that friends have joked amongst each other and took it to a level where if that was me, we're fighting. But that's not how I was brought up. But them man was brought up that way. There's black men who joke about, just to show you that this ain't about race. There's black people. I remember this one black boy before, back in the day. And him and his brethren, they'd always joke, and he'd call his brethren like pussy and rare. He was only joking, but he'd be like pussy and rare, calling that to his brethren. That couldn't get said to me. Them man knew I didn't joke like that.
That's disrespect, right?
Yeah, but they would joke around like that. I remember like, pussy, shut up, or rare. But I would always look at it like a man would say it like that because that's what he really thought. So I'd be like, yo, don't joke with me like that, please. And I won't joke with you like that. So what I'm trying to say is, I've seen banter with gal as well, white gal and white man, where they're bantering. And I've even sat down and listened to them banter and say, yo, that's getting dangerously close to being offensive. But it was acceptable in their world.
In their world, exactly.
Now
the filter in there.
I step into that world now. I've got white bedrooms on listening to this now who know what I'm saying. They don't banter with me like that because I'm not into that. But they know that what kind of jokes I will joke about. But I don't joke about anything that can be deemed offensive. So let me break down the Noel Clark thing. There's a lot of black men who go into the white world, and in order to be accepted, they start to behave that way. Now, what I believe is, if you start to behave that way in that world, whether you're in the workplace, school, college, fitness, wherever it may be, somebody can hold them things in the little black book for you.
Yes.
So when it's all good, them jokes are acceptable. But you and that person fall out, they'll draw for that little black book and say, my man said this to me one time. And I've seen girl do it. I'll talk it right on here. And just to protect myself and protect those people, I'm not going to say where it happened, but it was a work environment. There was a black man who was a manager, and there was a white girl who was a who was a staff member. The black man and her used to get on. He was much older, she was much younger, but they used to get on. They were really close. But when they used to talk, he was quite touchy. He'd do it to men as well. He'd put his hand on your shoulder, or if he was laughing, he'd shake you a little bit. Now, when she got her boyfriend didn't like that he was as close as he was to her. So her boyfriend said, no more. So she blocked him off her phone and all that stuff. They started to then go the other way. It weren't as friendly as what it was before. When they fell out, she filed a complaint against him and said that he was touching her.
Inappropriate touching in the workplace.
I got pulled in. It's a true story. I got pulled in. Did you see anything? And I said, listen, I seen my man putting his hand on her shoulder and that, but he does that to me. He does that to everyone in this place. It weren't nothing sexual or nothing like that. I can tell you that now. Not anything that I've seen. I don't know behind the scenes, but anything I've seen, it's always been some little laughy, jokey business, which I'm not really for, but I don't think he didn't mean it like that. He didn't touch her tits or her ass or nothing.
Yeah.
What she should have really said if she was uncomfortable is, don't put your hand on me, but because they were friends, it didn't matter.
Yes.
When they fell out is when she filed that thing. And obviously he was devastated by the accusation. He ended up getting into some mental things where he had trust issues and that. So what I'm trying to say, Noel Clarke went into that world trying to do all that stuff, and he's seen how that ended up. But what his issue was is he came out apologizing for it. That's why people don't take him serious now. He ruined his own career. You don't admit to something you're not guilty of. You don't apologize for something you're not guilty of. It doesn't matter. You don't apologize for something you have not done. Now he's saying, I didn't do it, I'm innocent and all that now. But at the time, you should have never come out and said, I'm sorry, I'm learning and all that. Nah, if you didn't do it, you shouldn't come out and say that. So that I'm saying is...
Do you think it was these PR publicists who suggested he did that?
Probably, but in life, no, probably, but in life, you have to
stand your ground.
Stand your ground, and I'm telling you now, Noble, I say this, anyone who's listening to this, stand your ground, because if you in life throw that towel in with any doubt, you can ruin your life, And if I didn't stand my ground, I wouldn't be on this mic talking to you right now.
This is it.
You have to stand your ground. You got to stand your ground and know that if you did not do something, you have to let it know. I did not do that. I don't care. I'm willing to go to the edge of the earth to prove I didn't do that. And this is the problem. We're living in an era where there was a lot of creeps and men who were just low down, dirty scumbags who got away with things.
Yes.
But the whole feminist movement are coming from men who are not like that.
It's unbalanced because you see, there was a even before I even entered, pardon myself, the workplace, because I wasn't old enough. There was a culture. We're talking. Let's work away from the 60s upwards, where men were literally, as you say, they were disgusting animals in essence to people in positions of power, where they would be slapping girl. Carry On. Look at the Carry On films. The youngsters these days probably don't even know what I'm talking about, but you go watch those Carry On films, which are not. There's been all kind of discussions over there. There's highly inappropriate, and some of the stuff in today's time. Listen, they were squeezing women's titties, slapping on the bum, pure sexual innuendos here, peeping Tomery, all kind of stuff going on. Racial epithets, huh? Come on, and that was deemed as normal. Now it's like, now we can't do that. That's, you can't, we gotta protect everybody's feelings. Let's not even challenge. Let's not even have the discussion about it. If you want to do it, do it. Everything, was it? Do thou what thou want will be the whole of the law. Like it's nihilism. It's not. What is my responsibility to my gal, or to my husband, to my mother, to my father, to my siblings, them, to my brethren? Like, it's about me. F you lot. I wanted to go out there and do this and do that. What you mean? How you can't judge me. Only God can judge. See, people then jump to the Bible and say, yeah, man, make I just pull out a Bible scripture. No, only God can judge. Huh? Read the whole thing, man. Don't just pick and choose. Like, you have a responsibility. Of course, things do lie with self, and you have the autonomy to make your own decisions, but your decisions have an effect, and that effect ripples out from you to your family, to your friends, and to the wider populace. You got to think about that, man. And especially now, like when we was coming up, man, we could make whole heap of mistakes. No one had that on camera. Yeah, we wasn't mashing down gal and recording it, and it's on the internet now. Yeah, come on.
You see, I remember Mans grew up in Brum. We grew up in Brum. I grew up in Erdington, Birmingham. So you gotta understand, like, what was going on the road in them days, like in terms of just Mans were just running around, whatever. But if you never really had no direction or no guidance, it would be. I've seen man, there's man doing life in prison right now that I know are good people.
Yeah.
But just made bad decisions and got caught up in madness. I personally know man like that myself. I know man who was sitting in prison who are doing life based off of trying to prove that they weren't soft.
Yes.
Man, with some people, my own family, where man are just trying to prove, I'm not soft. I'm willing to take it to the pinnacle.
Yeah.
A man do all kind of madness and then go and sit down and you're like, like just a heartbreaking story. You just know, like, yes. I wish I had an infinity stone to turn back time. Because that man just made the wrong decision. But I'm one of them, prevention's better than cure, guys.
This is it.
And that's why I'm saying we have to be careful, because the feminist agenda, it's out there not for the bad men. It's out there for all men. And you have to be careful too, because I've never met a feminist, an aggressive feminist who hates men, who's got a man. It's like a lot of these feminists are trying to eradicate the man, but not only eradicate the man, but eradicate his natural instinct of being a man. Like even in the gym, in my gym, listen, bad gal in there, spandex, or some of them are in perfect shape. Listen, if the gym's empty and there's a girl, I want to be as far away from her as possible.
Exactly.
That's how I'm built. If I go in that gym and there's this one girl who comes in my gym, literally, yeah, it coming like someone built her up from clay. That's the level of, you couldn't even probably pinch her stomach, but massive thighs, everything. Yes, and she wears the most
tighties.
And wear whatever you want, do your thing. But when she comes in, let's say I'm training chest and she's training chest, I'll wait until I see that she's moved on before I go into that area. Yes. Now, I'm not saying that the girls ever made me feel uncomfortable, but I don't even want to be in the same area as you. Because every day you go online, there's these videos of girls in the gym. Oh, he was looking at me. Oh, he was doing this. Because that's what this agenda's doing.
Mark, let me
now catcalling. They want to make catcalling illegal. They want to make catcalling. That's how I met both my children's moms. I never met them from no friggin' workplace. I met them from getting their phone number.
Exactly. Excuse me.
See what I'm saying?
Excuse me. Can I talk to you for a minute? Yeah. What's your name?
I'm not no, yo, come here, none of that. But you couldn't catch me. I'm catching you.
Yes, yes.
You know, but talk to me.
Listen, that gym thing, I've had this conversation how many times, and how you've just laid that out, it's replicated across every single gym you can go to. Now, as you say, sibling, a woman should be able to wear whatever the hell she wants to wear within reason. Within reason. Now, people can say, look, no, but I don't agree with you on this, but this is my opinion, especially if a woman has a significant other, a husband or a man, yeah? She shouldn't be out there at the gymnasium in the tightest of tighties, showing off everything, her whole essence to next man.
Facts.
Huh? So, like, and again, take that part out of it. So, woman's looking good. She's got the look. She got all her midriff showing. Yeah, she got the titties on flipping deck. She got the ass, the thighs. Da 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 da. As a man, are you not gonna look at her? That like it goes without saying. Like, of course you're going to look. Now the difference is, there's a difference. Me as an individual, wherever I go, I am always scanning. Yeah, I'm scanning for people. So if I can recognize somebody I know, I'm just scanning around like who's about. I'm scanning my environment. Where's the fire exits? Where's the entrance? Where's the change in level? I'm looking around. I'm constantly doing that. So if someone walks into the gym, a gal walks into the gym, I'm thinking, raw, my God, what the hell is she wearing, man? She clearly wants attention. But then she's there doing her thing, and you've got like, because every season you'll get like the little youngsters that will come in, like the little 16-year-olds, and like 4 or 5 of them will be in there, and they've had a little free pass or something like that. And they're just following the thing around. They're just gazing at the thing, and then grown men will be doing the same thing, just gazing at the thing, following it around, going to machines that are pretty close to it. But why are they doing that? Because you are, and it's not right, but it's a result. It's cause and effect. You present a wonderful package, a buffet. Let's use a food analogy. People are gonna come and look for the buffet, right? If you come to the gym just to work out and you're not looking for the attention, then you're gonna come in, because I see women and they come in baggy attire, and I can say, oh, she don't want the attention. She doesn't want to show off her womanhood. So that's what it
And
be.
You see that, Noble? What you just said there, yeah, breaks down further what I was explaining earlier. Because when I was going gym I started going gym when I was about 17, 18. And when I was going gym in them days, it was about just training.
Yeah.
So I'd put on t-shirt that I would use to paint in the yard.
Exactly.
On trousers that they could all be bubble up. Sometimes I wouldn't even press the thing.
In it though.
Wear trainers that are just mashed down. But now when you go in the gym, man are flexing. Brothers are wearing brand new trainers, brand new tracksuits, all kind of things. Girls are wearing, it's all like a fashion show. So even me, the other day I was like, I need to re-up my whole gym shit. I bought a whole new set of tracksuits just to go gym. Because I'm like, that's what it is now. If I'm jumping in the spin class,
Mark, you're doing the spin classes.
I done a couple still, yeah, man.
Lord, for hour ones, for the 30-minute thing.
45.
Lord, fire, you got some cardio, boss.
A couple still. Done a couple. I'm trying to get myself, I'm trying to get myself ready,
Yes.
Health and all that as well. But what I'm trying to explain is, that's the world we're living in now, where that agenda is not just after bad men, they're after all men. So I'm just telling man, be careful in it, workplace, school, college, whatever, just be careful. That's all I'm saying, just be careful in it.
Definitely.
Prevention's better than cure, just be careful, because it's easy to switch and you can make a man a predator at the click of a finger. Don't make it easy for them.
For shiggity. And just to add on to your wardrobe upgrade, little plug, I did the same thing with the CFR Sports tracksuit t-shirts and bottoms as well. So I got my fresh thing going on when I'm going to the gymnasium now as well. You heard?